Hi, this is Elizabeth, one of the co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Welcome and thank you for joining the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast. I am your host, Jenna. I'm a military spouse of 10 years, a health and fitness enthusiast, a mom, and a registered dental assistant. Again, I want to thank you for being here with me today, and if you find that today's episode resonates with you or anyone else that you know, I highly encourage you to share it. Also, I love and appreciate any and all feedback, so if you would like to leave me some feedback, please feel free to email me at confessionsofamilspouse@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram at confessionsofamilspouse or on Facebook at Confessions of a Military Spouse. So today I am actually coming to you, quote unquote, live from our road trip, and I apologize if there's any unusual background noise or if things seem a little bit different, but I'm happy to be coming to you guys while we're on this trip. And today's episode is going to be a little different because I'm going to be talking about some resources that I have found super helpful as a military spouse. And they range from Facebook groups to some probably more well-known resources to individual military spouses making a difference in our lives to, groups that have been affiliated by the military or put together by the military. There's just some really great resources out there for military spouses. Some I feel like are pretty well known, others maybe not so much. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. First up, I want to talk about MyCAA, which I am, to be 100% honest, not sure if it's pronounced MyCAA or how it's actually pronounced, but it is such an awesome resource for military spouses. But I need to start out by saying that it's specifically for military spouses whose spouse is either an E1 to E5, a W1 to W2, or an O1 to O2, who can start and complete their coursework while their military sponsor is on a Title X military orders. It also includes spouses married to members of the National Guard and Reserve components in these same pay grades. And for those of you who don't know, because I did not know this, Title X orders means active duty. So what exactly is the MyCAA? So the MyCAA is a career development and employment assistance program sponsored by the Department of Defense's, or DoD, Spouses in Education Career Opportunities, or SECO, program. The MyCAA helps military spouses pursue licenses, certificates, certifications, or associate's degrees, which it does exclude some associate degrees, but you can look up the specifics on that. But it helps military spouses pursue those things, which are also necessary for employment in high demand, high growth, but more importantly, portable career fields and occupations. So basically providing careers that can move with you as you move with your spouse. So what does the MyCAA provide? Well, it provides a maximum education benefit of up to $4,000 with an annual fiscal year cap of $2,000 to assist eligible military spouses in acquiring professional accreditation needed to meet their portable career goal. So what does that mean? It provides you some money to help you complete education that you can take with you, basically. It says the annual cap waivers are available if there is an upfront tuition cost that exceeds $2,000, but it's only up to the maximum education benefit of $4,000. which is super amazing because I know a lot of certification programs, and like I am a dental assistant, and when I started, I did a certification program, and it would have been amazing to have this resource available to me. However, whenever I married my spouse, he was already, I believe, an E5 at that point, and I already had my career in place, so I wasn't able to utilize this benefit. So while all of that is super ridiculously awesome, they also provide employment readiness counseling, which I think is super awesome because it's a counseling service that's provided to all military spouses married to active duty service members, regardless of their eligibility to receive the MyCAA assistance. So it is available to spouses that are married to any member of the military, no matter their rank. And it basically gives them guidance and helps them with their desire to pursue higher levels of education. So it's a counseling service that also helps military spouses identify additional sources of federal, state, and local financial assistance. It can help you expand your career choices and opportunities. And it can also provide other necessary support resources like childcare, transportation, books, equipment, supplies, etc., etc. So other than the fact that they're providing this money, it's a great resource for quote unquote counseling services to kind of help you with the, like, where do I go next step? Or this is what I want to do and how do I get there? Which I think is super helpful because I have been in situations where I haven't known where to go next or what to do next. And I have to try and figure that out. And it can be a really complicated and hard thing whenever you're moving every 2 to 3 years. So to have that resource available, I think is super amazing. And since we're on this topic, let's go ahead and talk about my dear friend Tia with Dependent.work. So as you may or may not know, I've had Tia on my show a few times because I absolutely love what she does and what she stands for. So what Dependent.work was designed for was to blend career life with military life. And here's a little background of how Dependent.work was founded and what went through her mind as she was creating this idea. And I think it's super important to share because I feel like it's something that all military spouses experience at some point, and totally myself included. So she says that as a military spouse, as they were preparing for their first PCS, she was very pregnant and found out that her current employer at the time would not be able to keep her on in a remote role. She became very stressed trying to figure out how she was going to continue to grow her career while following her service member, obviously, to another state where she had no contacts or any job network or anything like that. She worried about the following, which is where I think most spouses can relate. How long was it going to take her to find a position that fit her skill set? Would she be able to make a comparable salary? If she let people know she was a military spouse, would that limit her opportunity? You guys, I cannot tell you how many times I have felt that way. I feel like military spouses are already at a quote unquote negative going into new jobs. And sometimes I feel like we definitely get scared to tell our employers that we are military spouses. But that's when she decided that she was going to take control of her destiny. And she reached out to the network that she had developed in her then current role. Her resumes were passed along to their contacts in the new state that they were moving to, and she started having networking calls and learned about the companies in the area. She would watch the job boards and apply to roles that fit within her skill set. And before they PCS'd, she had 3 interviews. 1 month after they moved, she started her new position. And this process was all done on her own. But after she started work, she found out about military networks. But not because she found them, only through them reaching out to her as a business contact, not as a military spouse. And she says that's when she had a light bulb moment. The system is flawed. With the military spouse unemployment rate being 4 times the national average, there needs to be a more proactive approach to helping military spouses find positions when they PCS, which I completely agree. There needs to be a network that connects talented military spouses to military-friendly employers. in a timely fashion. And that is the goal of dependent.work, blending career with military life. So if you are a military spouse and need help finding military spouse-friendly jobs, please do not hesitate to reach out to Tia at dependent.work. She actually recently helped me with my resume for my dental assisting position and helped me sort through jobs on Indeed for South Carolina, where we are moving. And much like her, I already have a job lined up waiting for me when we arrive, and I cannot be more thankful, and I cannot recommend her enough. So my next resources for all military spouses is something called Military One Source. And I honestly feel like a lot of spouses probably already know about this, but then I feel like maybe a lot of them don't. And I feel like it is a super important resource for all spouses, but especially new military spouses to know. So Military One Source is designed to be the one source that stands ready to assist you as you master military life. I'm not actually sure if anybody ever masters it, but you get the hint. So they want to give expert support and information that is proven and practical to be there day and night, wherever you are when you need a trusted voice, private and confidential. To have answers you can depend on in pursuit of your best goals and your best military life. To be one dedicated community whose sole mission is you. So some of the things that they can help you with are they can help you learn about military housing allowances, which I think is a great resource because I didn't understand that for a really long time. They can give you information about commissaries and exchanges and other benefits and resources that are at your specific duty station. They can connect you to free legal information, personal finance information, and other services to help keep you and your family strong. They can give you helpful tools to plan for a deployment, which I think is amazing. They can give you education and employment resources, which can also go along with the MyCAA counseling service that you guys have available to you, because they too want to help you achieve your goals. MilTax, which is a free tax services and financial counseling to help you master your money, which we all know in the military, like people think that we get paid buku bucks and like it's this great, grand, and wonderful life. And we all know that we definitely don't get paid as much as we should. So I think it's really awesome that they have the financial counseling that can help you master and understand your money, because budgeting is a huge thing, especially if you are a single working military family. But the thing that I love the most, you guys, about Military One Source is they provide resilience tools, private support, confidential non-medical counseling, and other consultations from experts in military life. So Military One Source has some amazing resources that I oftentimes feel like go unnoticed. So don't be afraid to reach out to them and use their resources. Get on their website and look at what they offer. If you have a question about money, see if it's something that they can answer. If you have a legal question, get on there and see if it's something that they can answer. If they can't, I bet that they can point you in the right direction. If you need counseling, get on there. They will connect you to a counselor. Like I said, they have pre-deployment information. It is just an amazing educational filled resource that I don't think enough people take advantage of. And since we are somewhat on the topic of private support and non-medical counseling, something I want to touch base on is TRICARE. And I'm pretty sure pretty much everyone knows about TRICARE, seeing as it's your medical insurance. But something that I actually wasn't aware of until recently that I want to make you all aware of is that if you have TRICARE Prime, you can see a therapist or counselor that is in network with TRICARE with absolutely no referral needed. So we all know that TRICARE Prime usually requires a referral for legit everything. Oh, you need to go have a P-test, here's a referral for you. Oh, you need to go see the specialist, here's a referral for you. Oh, you need to see another specialist, well, you got to get another referral. Like, it's annoying. But TRICARE Prime does not require you to have a referral to see a counselor or a therapist. You can see them up to twice a week for 1 hour each visit at no cost to you. Now, I'm going to do the little disclaimer thing and tell you, I don't want to guarantee that that's 100% the truth, because there's always like that 1% that it's not actually, it doesn't actually work like that. So I still suggest that you check with your TRICARE and make sure that that is actually the case, because I don't want to be held responsible for that. But what I can do is I can speak from personal experience. And that is that whenever I was seeking counseling, I was able to find an in-network counselor on my own. I was able to see them twice a week, 1 hour each time at no charge to me, and I did not need a referral. I'm not sure if the same applies for TRICARE Select, but I know, like I said, for TRICARE Prime, if you see an in-network therapist, it should be no charge for up to 2 1-hour sessions per week. And the thing that I found the coolest is that if you and your spouse want to do couples counseling together, I've heard that if you start, they can later join you under your TRICARE plan, meaning you wouldn't have to see someone else on base, and you could basically choose who you want to see for your therapist. And they just basically bill your couple session under your like individual session to TRICARE. I would assume there's probably a different code, but it still falls under like you as a family member or a family or whatever the situation is. And I would probably assume it's the same for children. But I'm not 100% sure. And that's the very little information that I know about it, but I thought that it was some pretty freaking cool information. And so it was definitely something that I wanted to pass along. So my next resource that I want to share with you all is a nonprofit called Dependa Strong. So I know that the name has a lot of negative connotation around it, but honestly, that's part of the reason that I love it so much. Dependa is such a negative word in the military community, but if you knew or know Hope, who is Hope Bradley, she's the creator and founder of Dependa Strong, you'd know there's nothing negative or dependa about her or this organization at all. I have been watching Dependa Strong as they have grown, and they have been making strides with their organization. Originally, they were founded to empower the military spouse community and to encourage spouses to take control of their quality of life through fitness, nutrition, and with education and resources to advocate for the issues that affect our community. Originally founded to empower the military spouse community and to encourage spouses to take control of their quality of life through fitness, nutrition, and with education and resources to advocate for the issues that affect our community the most. And you guys, they have gone above and beyond that now. They have created an amazing voice, especially within the local San Diego military community, to be heard regarding all of the awful housing issues that have been going on, from families being exposed to mold for extended period of time to not properly fixing maintenance issues. You guys, the problems go on and on. And they are also advocating for children within the San Diego school district that are either not receiving the proper paperwork, education, opportunities, whatever it is, however they're being mistreated within the community, the school district. They are bringing all of those issues to light and to make sure that our military kids are taken care of properly. And I think that's amazing because, we as individuals and as parents can only do so much, but when we come together in forces, we can do so much more. So the work that Hope and her team are doing are so amazing. And I so highly encourage you that if you have any issues as a military spouse with either one of those things that I just mentioned or anything else, please reach out to her and look them up on Facebook, Dependa Strong, and join their community because it's an amazing resource for so much stuff. And the last resource on my list for today for everyone is an organization called Military Spouse Advocacy Network. The Military Spouse Advocacy Network is a network of advocates, mentors, and volunteers serving military families and improving the morale and welfare of the communities through education, empowerment, support, community, and collaboration. They guide military spouses to resources and opportunities to help deepen their understanding of the new military spouse life. They provide military spouses with the knowledge, tools, and support they need to advocate for themselves, their service member, and their families. They facilitate mentorship and trainings to ensure that no spouse is left behind. They build strong connections between military spouses across the world through a supportive mentorship program, providing a sense of family and connectedness from day one. They also connect military spouses with resources to educate and empower their communities. So this program was not something that I was aware of, or it wasn't maybe available whenever I was a new military spouse. I mean, it's been 10 years, so I'm not really sure. But either way, I wasn't aware of it until just recently, and it makes me pretty sad because it is a super awesome resource. And I actually had the opportunity to mentor for them, to represent the Marine Corps for a short time, and I truly loved it. Honestly, the only reason I stopped mentoring was because my husband was deployed, I was working full time, I had my daughter, and I just couldn't make the trainings and stuff, which I needed to be at in order to provide all of the military spouses with the correct information. So I decided to step down. But every branch of the military, so one of the things, let me backtrack for a minute. One of the things that I love the most about this program is that every branch of the military has branch specific mentors. So what does that mean? So if your spouse is in the Marine Corps, you will never get a mentor whose spouse is in the Army. You'll only get a Marine Corps mentor. And so let's say your spouse is in the Army, you'll only have an Army mentor, et cetera, et cetera. So your mentor as a new military spouse will always be specific to your branch, which is amazing because we all know that different branches of the military have different rules and regulations and, things just operate a little bit different. So it's nice to know that the information that you're getting is actually true. What happens with this program when you sign up for the mentorship as a new spouse? You're assigned a mentor, and as a mentor, your mentor reaches out to you as a new military spouse to help you along the way with any questions you have. And I kind of look at it as a big sister, little sister program. And like I said, I think it's so amazing. It's something that I wish I so much had whenever I was a new military spouse, because there was so much that I didn't know and didn't understand. And I would have loved to have somebody that I could have been like, hey, this happened. Is this normal? Is this not normal? What about this? I don't understand this. But here we are 10 years later, and I still don't have it figured out. But that's just, life. But like I said, I think it's such an amazing resource, and I highly encourage all of my new military spouses listening to this to check it out and definitely sign up for the mentorship part and use your mentor as a resource. That's what they're there for. I have so many other resources that I feel like I could share with you guys, because there's so many resources that are available to military spouses, and I feel like a lot of them either go unnoticed or they're just not talked about enough. And so my hope with this episode was to bring light to just some of these amazing resources that we as military spouses have available, and hopefully I'll be able to do another episode with more resources to just keep sharing the wealth of knowledge that these resources have available to you as military spouses. So thank you for being here with me today, and don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast listening platform so you never miss an episode.